All right, I'm back. I got one more thing to mention here, and I don't know how well it's going to show, but I've got a spark plug here, Champion. Kind of getting dark here, but look at that. That's a good-looking spark plug. Oh, it's kind of dark. Anyway, it's a Champion spark plug, and it's the brand I always used on all my motor cars. All my beat up cars would get Champion spark plugs. And in those days, I didn't, give my car to a mechanic. I mean, for major things, but even then, they were kind of basic, the cars I had. Fred Flintstone could have worked on one. So I did my own, basic things like tune-ups, oil changes, all that kind of stuff. I did myself. I enjoyed it, and I felt like I was doing a better job because I would let every drop drain from the oil pan rather than, it's all psychological. But anyway, so I always went to the United Auto Parts store, and I would say to the guy, I got like a 79 Mazda or whatever, and he would say, what do you need? I go, spark plugs, and he would open up a big book, McCliff or something like that. I forget the name, McClinton. Anyway, it's a big book, and he would flip through the page, and he would find exactly what I needed, and he would say, what brand? I would say Champion. Something about it, reminds me of my youth, and even the logo, when I see it, brings me back to a time when I would, hop in my car and go to the motor shop there, the auto parts store, and I would buy all the stuff I needed, and I would get all the high-end stuff for my car, which, didn't really need the high-end stuff, but I felt like I was making it more impressive by putting all this good stuff in there, performance-wise, So, spark plug was always in my vehicle, and Amalie, I believe that's what it's called. That motor oil is the only one I used to use in those days. And I would use the heavy duty one, like I was a race car driver. Didn't need that at all. 530 is fine. I was using this really high-end oil. It looked kind of greenish, and didn't do anything. But I remember even when I was a kid, before I got my driver's license, way before, talking first grade, second grade, and third grade, there was an auto parts store nearby, and that was me and my friend. I had a friend, his name was Tony, and we would wander the neighborhoods playing everywhere, and if it was like a Saturday or something, or after school, you would see me and him back in the 70s roaming around. We had these pit stops. Railroad tracks was one place. Another place was the auto parts store. And we'd go in there checking things out, Probably the owners would look at us and they'd say, there's those little kids again. I mean, we were 6 years old. But from our point of view, it seemed like we were older, But we were little, first graders. And they knew us well. We'd walk in there, they'd give us a wave. And then we'd go and look at stuff. Be like, what does that say? But, yeah, and even today, I enjoy going to an auto parts store and going up and down the aisles. Gets my concentration going. That and bookstores. And of course, I'm a big fan of Bass Pro Shop. Can't get enough of that place. I go in there and, I go up and down every aisle. I check everything out. I grab things I don't even need. I go in there for one thing, I leave with like 15 things. But big fan of those kind of stores. But I remember the auto parts store was a big part of my childhood. We didn't have a license back then to drive, but we would go in there anyway. And I've said this another time, but my friend came into first grade one day, and he opened up his lunchbox, and inside the lunchbox we were big fans of STP products. So we go in there and we would check out all the STP things. So he came to school and he opened up his lunchbox, and inside he had an STP sticker. And I said, "Where'd you get that?" Oh, he goes, "The guy at the auto parts store. He gave him some spelling thing to, a word to spell out, and he goes, if you get that right, and he gives you a sticker." So that Saturday, I remember we were out there, first grade was a Saturday, and we're out there on the sidewalk, sitting on the curb there, on the granite piece, and I was practicing spelling that word. So I got it, I went inside, and I said to the guy, "Can I have an STP sticker?" And he goes, "Yeah." So he pulls out a pen and paper, he smacks down in front of the counter in front of me, and he goes, gave me the word, he goes, "Write that." And I wrote it, he looked at it, he reached underneath, and he gave me an STP sticker. I love STP stickers, the oval ones. So I put it on my bike. I had a red bike back then that got run over by a bulldozer, but before he got run over, I had a STP sticker on there. But yeah, still, I even have an STP shirt now, and it brings me back to first grade. So that's it for now, and once again, ciao.